Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Nina G, and this is a yoga break. A little bit shorter than a chair yoga practice, and it can be used by anyone. So if you have been standing all day, you might want to sit down and do this in a chair. If you've been sitting all day, I recommend standing up. Really, the only piece of equipment that we need to have is a stable wall surface. So this cabinet is bolted to the wall. So when I need the wall, this is where I'm going to come. Other than that, I'm going to stand up today. But I could use my chair if I wanted to. Okay? So we'll get started right now with 3 smooth breaths just to arrive at our practice. When you're ready, let's go. Inhaling and exhale. 2 more breaths at your pace. And once you've completed that 3rd breath, you can release the counting, but you might want to pause and notice how your body feels simply by taking 3 smooth breaths. And then we're going to get started with a little self-massage. And I will warn you that when I do self-massage, my microphone picks it up. So I'm going to try and be careful. But if you hear some tapping, I apologize right now. The first thing we're going to do is a little self-massage with our fingers, and we're going to use them like tiny hammers. So that's 8 tiny hammers we have. We can move them together, 8, 8, 8, or we can make it more like raindrops keep falling on my head. So let's start at the crown of the head and just kind of tap, 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 tap all around. Let it feel good, right? So you control how hard these hammers hit. Let's be gentle, let's be kind, and let's get all around the skull here. Yeah. Tap, 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 tap. And then we're going to come to the forehead, that space between the eyebrows, and we'll come around the eyes, tap, tap, tapping all around the eyes. Oh, yeah. And you might want to get right here underneath that eye socket, like into the sinuses. Yes. Tap, 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 tap. And then we'll take it in front of the ears, So that tapping here. Yeah, we can go all down the jaw and back up the jaw. Try that a few times. Feels good, right? And we can do each finger individually, or we could do like all 8 at once. And then let's make sure we get to the neck. And here's where I'm going to not use my left hand so you don't have to hear the bouncing. Yeah. And then the back of the neck. Yeah. And then a really nice thing to do is close your mouth and just kind of massage the gums through your lips. Helps to promote circulation there. Your hygienist will love you. And then we'll release that. Pause and notice how things feel in the head and the face. And then we're going to move to a little different tool now. We're going to just have like a little slappy hand, real soft, slap, slap, slap. And we're going to start at the top, at the shoulder. Turn your palm up. And we're going to slap, slap, slap all the way down the inside of the arm. Give yourself a hand at the bottom. And then turn the hand over. And gentle, gentle slapping all the way back up. And let's do it again. Palm up. We'll go down the inside of the arm. Clap. Flip the palm down. Go back up the outside. And we'll do one more like that. Come on, back up. And then release. And we're going to switch to the other side. So we start at the top. We're going to do that nice, soft slapping down. Give yourself a hand at the bottom. And then turn it over and come on back up. And I'm just kind of pretending so I don't hit my microphone. Go down a second round. Give yourself a hand. Turn the palm over. Go up the outside of the arm. And one more. And then get behind. Yes. And then release. Notice how those arms feel. So we have one other tool at our disposal, and that is a soft floppy fist. So again, we control this, and it's real easy to switch between floppy fist and slappy hand. So don't worry about that. But I'm going to put my left elbow into my right palm, and then I can lift up my elbow to help me get into this area of my shoulder. And I don't want to hit the bones, right? Because that doesn't feel good. But I want to just gently tap on that soft tissue up there. And do that until you feel like you've got a little release, and then we're going to switch and go to the other side. So right elbow in the left hand, and we'll do it on the other side. So same thing. You can do it with that floppy fist. I'm trying not to hit the microphone. Or you could do a little slappy hand. And then once you've evened out those sides, let's release the arms. Pause and notice how all of that feels in your head and neck. Might feel good. So now we're going to just pause in our Tadasana. So I might be standing in my Tadasana. I might be seated in my Tadasana. But what's most important is that the spine is tall, whether we're seated or standing. Let's take the shoulder blades forward and up. And then we're going to bring them back and down. So here we go. Forward and up and back and down. Take your time. Release that tension. And then you might decide to get the elbows a little more involved. And if you're standing, you can soften the knees and get them involved as well. But it might become a little bit bigger. Yeah. And maybe take 2 more circles. And then pause and see how that feels. And then we'll take our arms forward, bring fingertips to shoulders, and let's let the elbows be wide now. So let's take elbows forward and take elbows wide. Look up, a little bit of a back bend here. Reach elbows forward, and then reach the sternum, the chin, and the gaze to the ceiling. Whether we're seated or standing, we get that same effect in the upper body. Now, the next time that elbows are wide, let's pause here for a moment. Take a breath. And then we'll reach elbows forward. We'll reach the arms forward, and we'll release them down by our side. Shake out the arms. See how that feels. Okay, let's take arms forward again, fingertips to shoulders again, elbows wide. And now let's go back 1 elbow at a time. And now that torso takes a little bit of a twist. So let's kind of enjoy this. That rib cage going one side to the other. Doesn't have to be big movements. Just notice how it feels. And then let's go in the other direction. Like we're swimming, right? Swimming forward with those elbows. And then we'll finish by going back. Pause, bring elbows forward again. Open them wide. Let's take a few circles, both elbows going back. And then release those arms down by your side. Shake it out. See how you feel. Okay, let's take our arms wide now. And we're going to give ourselves a hug, right arm on top of left. Right arm on top of left. So we have this hug here. From here, we're going to lift up our elbows, lift up our gaze. And as we exhale, we're going to drop the elbows, drop the chin. Let's try that again. Lifting and drop. One more. And now drop the elbows, drop the chin, stay here. Feel the space between the shoulder blades getting a little bit wider. And now come back to tall spine, open arms wide. Release the arms down by your side. Now we're going to do the other side. So arms go wide. We give ourselves that hug left on top of right. We lift up the elbows, the chin and the gaze, and then we drop the elbows down, let the chin come down. Lift up, look up, lower and release. One more. Drop the elbows, drop the chin. Stay here. Let the head be heavy. And then we'll straighten out the spine. We'll open arms wide. We'll float them back down by our side. Pause and notice how that feels in the upper back. Okay, so that was coming forward. Now we're going to reach our arms in the other direction. Some people will be able to interlace their fingers behind them. That's terrific. Other people might want to use like a hand towel or your bathrobe belt or something to reach. However, we can get the same effect just reaching back strongly. So both arms go back, reaching back, standing up tall or sitting tall, reaching those arms back behind you. Let's take 3 more smooth breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. And when you've completed that third and final breath, whenever that is, release the arms. Let them come back down by your side. Notice how that feels. Okay, now we're going to move to the wall. So if you're sitting in a chair, maybe your chair is close to the wall now. If you're standing, find your space. But what we're going to do is we're going to put our palm on the wall, shoulder height. So my arm is directly out from my body. So it's like I'm making the shape of a T. My feet are right underneath my hips, but I'm pushing my palm into the wall. This whole arm is working. And now I'm going to find that inner lift of my spine, whether seated or standing. Let's take an inhale here, get a little taller. And as we exhale very slowly, turn your head away from that extended arm. And we're just going to look to the other side. Stay here and breathe. Come back to the smooth breath. Noticing those sensations in the arm, in the neck. See if you can soften your shoulders. And now we'll bring the head back to neutral. Still have our arm on the wall. Now I'm going to take my opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Drop that head down. Yes. Now you might feel different sensations in this side of the neck. And then let's drop that chin down. And now notice where your chin is. Notice where your nose is. Bring your chin up to where your nose was. See how that feels. And drop it down again. And then bring head back to neutral. Release that arm from the wall. Shake it out. See how that feels. Okay, we're going to do the other side, but I'm not going to turn my back to the camera. So I'm just going to do it with a pretend wall. Another good option, right? So the arm is directly out from my body. And my arm is active, palm is up. I'm pushing into the wall. And it's a very strong arm. So now I'm going to get taller. And then I'm going to turn my head away from that extended arm. And we're going to stay here and breathe. See if you can soften the muscles in the shoulders. And then very carefully, we bring that head back to neutral. Yes. And now we're going to take this away ear down to the shoulder. So let's think about both shoulders reaching for the floor, even as this ear is reaching for that shoulder. And then drop your chin. Think about where your nose is and where your chin is. Pick your chin up to where the nose was. Little stretch on the front of the throat. Take the chin back down Bring head back to neutral. Release the hand from the wall. Shake out those arms. If you want, you can shake out the legs and wiggle around a little bit. And then we're going to come back to stillness. And we're going to complete this practice just the way we started it, with 3 even breaths. So let's exhale completely. And let's go with our breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Round 2. And round 3. And now let go of that counting. Hopefully you're ready for the rest of your day. Stay well, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon.